Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Unfrosted, and this is a new comedy, satirical biopic from writer-director Jerry Seinfeld, coming out on Netflix, and this was co-written by 3 other people, and you can probably tell. Now, this film definitely feels like it's trying to be in the same vein as Weird, the Al Yankovic story, in terms of coming up with a very satirical, absurdist, made-up series of events that led to, Weird Al Yankovic becoming big, famous musical artist, and here, the creation of the Pop-Tart. And it focuses on the big rivalry between Post and Kellogg in Battle Creek, Michigan, and Jerry Seinfeld plays Bob Cabana, who is the one who was the orchestrator of this new product. And over the course of this film, which is only about an hour, 35 minutes or so, it tells the story of how it came about. Now, the story is absolutely ridiculous. There's moments that make absolutely no sense. It escalates to humongous, strange, outlandish proportions, incorporating President Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Soviet Union and the Cold War, and you're just like, what? What's going on here? Now, the humor is definitely a wide mix of things. There's some slapstick. There's definitely some, Jerry Seinfeld brand humor, obviously. Dad jokes, silly play on words. Sure, some of them are funny. Others are just really low-brow, terrible poop jokes and fart jokes and having to run through a whole entire, barn full of cows farting at you kind of joke. That kind of stuff just completely took me out of the film and just found it aggressively unfunny. And I feel like a lot of the big selling point of this film, which this film is very vibrant, it's bright, it has a specific look, but it's also filled to the gills with stars and famous comedians. You have Jerry Seinfeld, you have Melissa McCarthy, Jim Gaffigan, Christian Slater, Hugh Grant, and Kyle Mooney, and Patrick Warburton, and Andy Daly, and Max Greenfield, Amy Schumer, Cedric the Entertainer. Just so many people. Bobby Moynihan, Thomas Lennon. There's even some really strange, unexpected cameos that pop up. And in the same way that you had with Weird, you have a bunch of famous, iconic individuals. Some of the jokes are really funny and land. Some of these random castings really work. Hugh Grant plays an actor, Thurl Ravencroft, who is Tony the Tiger, the mascot. And he's hilarious. And he's great and plays this role perfect. You have Bobby Moynihan, who's Chef Boyardee. And he just plays it so ridiculously and plays it pitch perfectly. You just have so many actors here with so many different characters that most of them barely have any screen time to really work with. And, they're trying to do their best. And, there was a moment where they have, the milk mafia, basically, and it's led by Peter Dinklage, and his right-hand man's Christian Slater. That I thought was legitimately a funny thing until they ruined it with a bunch of cow farting jokes. But this film is all over the place narratively. It never really has a cohesive story. I don't really care about any of these characters. They don't spend enough time for us to really, connect with them on a personal level, and nobody's really empathetic enough for us to really care. They have this subplot where it's Jim Gaffigan and Amy Schumer, who run Kellogg and Post, are really in love, but a Kellogg and a Post can never be in love. It's forbidden. And those kinds of elements, and it's just so messy and convoluted, and I get what they're going for, and I think it's a silly, easily digestible, watchable experience. It's just not a good movie. It's just not that funny. It's never that clever as it thinks it is. They even have a whole entire spoof of the January 6th insurrection with a bunch of fired mascots from Kellogg. To the point where, like, Hugh Grant's, like, dressed up as Tony the Tiger Shaman. And you're just like, wow, that was supposed to be funny, and it wasn't. It's just ridiculous. This movie is ridiculous. It's an easy watch. It's right there on Netflix, so maybe give it a try. Maybe you'll get at least a few laughs out of the experience. I know at least I did. But in the end, this is a messy misfire that was trying to recapture some of those juices that made some other films recently really work in this same vein. But those are my thoughts on Unfrosted. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.